Dave, I guess the obvious question is, what went wrong out there tonight?
First half, 31 points. That's what went wrong.
Why do you think you conceded that many points in the first half?
I think our first up contact there wasn't good enough. I think the first three visits on our try line, just being able to lock that ball up. I thought Hull KR at the start of the game were running harder than us. I addressed that at the second half, and I thought we did a really good job of getting ourselves. When we went to 31-22, I thought we're coming home here. I rotated the bench on there, but then all of a sudden, a little kick or someone just missing their assignment there gave them an opportunity to come down our end. So talked about playing Hull KR in their end. They're a team there that like to be behind the ball and with the ball. So I thought, we addressed that at the second half. But that first half there, 31 points, not good enough.
You've spoken about defending your goal line well early on in games in the past, and that you've conceded the first time you've been down there. The fact that it happened 3 times now, how big a concern is that?
We'll just have a look at who's coming up, who's not doing their job. That's what it is. So as a coach, I'll have a look at that. So there's times there we defend our line quite well, but tonight, as I said, look at the first up contact when they were coming out of their end before we have a look at on our try line.
You also mentioned, Hull KR were probably just running harder at time. Is that frustrating as a coach? That's the one thing you don't expect to see the other team just simply running harder than your own players.
Well, it happens. It does happen. We needed to handle that. Hull KR playing at home. The narrow loss to St Helens. It's no different for our team when we were getting in that position. We just needed to, and I talked about it, we needed to match their enthusiasm at the start. A couple of things didn't go our way, and then all of a sudden we're on their try line, they scored a couple of tries. But readdressed that at the second half, and then all of a sudden we're 31-22, got a game on our hands, and then we go out in the full. Then all of a sudden, any sort of wind in the sails here got taken straight out. But we kept sort of turning up, and then a couple of late tries there was just through fatigue in our team. So our completions were poor in the first half, and when you got that sort of completions there, and then they scored a couple of tries, fatigue sets in, and you make some poor decisions.
You mentioned, kicking out on the full as well. I think it was 4 times tonight. I know the wind obviously plays a factor in that, but you just simply cannot afford to do that, can you?
No, you can't.
Jack Walker, obviously a rough night for him. He was visibly annoyed and frustrated with himself. Do you put that down to experience or just a bad night at the office?
Oh, well, he actually got a good purchase on that dropout.
Yeah.
A real good purchase, and if it went straight, it would have went, like a long way. But we're talking about, go easy on him, boys. He's a 19-year-old kid who, when you look at him, trying to run, again, the way he batters his body against, the bigger men. So he'll learn from that. Last week there and the last 2 weeks, he's been very consistent. Yeah, so you're talking about a 19-year-old kid in a very important position there. So, and his duties there of the kick-offs and then the dropouts there, he wants to do it. He practices. So I'm not going to look. That's happened. We needed to defend it for Jack, but there's no way. He's his body on the line, consistent. Remember, he's a 19-year-old kid. And we've got a couple of young players in that team there, and we talk about keep learning, but. I think we needed to have a bit more starch there at the start. Really needed to take the a bit of the energy out, but also too our first couple of sets here with the ball, we didn't get to a kick. We ran it on last, so it's a bit of game management there to take a little bit of that energy out so we can get on top. So Richie Myler, a little bit of control, like with him not being there. So. He helps us sort of direct us around the field. A little bit clunky at start, so we just need to regroup and have a look at those areas.
Tui was the man who came in for Richie. Chance for him to impress. Did he do that for you tonight?
I don't think. It's hard to sort of say. You got those points scored against, there's not many people there going to be really impressing. So I'll have a look at the game before I comment.
I think one person who did impress was Conrad Hurrell. It's rare that you score 4 tries and are on the losing side. But
yeah, he's been very consistent. There's a lot of look. When you have a look at it, the disappointment is that first half as a coach, and then redirecting the playing group there in the second half and getting our opportunity there to get back in the game. That was pleasing, but you can't do that. And we've time and time again, we've put ourselves in that position. So for me, there was some good performance. I'm not going to be negative there in that. So as you said, like Connie never stopped trying. We lost Cam, had to do a rotation. We had again changing personnel there. It makes it hard there to get those connections and combinations, in particular in defence.